Very beautiful that the Young Israel of New Rochelle is honoring Rachel and Gary Berger. They are longtime members of the community, and both of them individually and as a couple have contributed greatly to our community and to our shul. We're also very proud of their 4 children, their 3 boys and their daughter, and we can see that the great qualities that the Bergers have, all of them are in each one of their children.
When I think of Gary and Rachel Berger, I actually think of the quintessential New Rochelle couple. If I was going to market New Rochelle, I really think that Rachel and Gary and their 4 beautiful children would be the type of family that I would want to say, this is New Rochelle, come and join us.
New Rochelle is actually our 5th home. We got married almost 30 years ago when I was in medical school and Rachel was in law school, and we lived in Flatbush, and then we moved from Pelham Parkway to Gramercy Park, and eventually to Riverdale.
Living in Riverdale was great. We lived right across the hall from Elliot and Eliza Cohen. Eliza is very meticulous in her research on everything, so we shared a babysitter. I probably bought the same stroller she did, and then when they eventually moved out, we followed them to New Rochelle.
We really liked the idea of a small community, one shul, one great rabbi, where we could have a lot of relatives nearby, but none that were actually in the same community of us was probably the most appealing part of why we moved to New Rochelle.
About 15 years ago, I was sitting alone in my kitchen in Brooklyn, and I called Rachel to wish her a good Shabbos. And she invited me to her house, and I said, I can't come, I'm too far away, and that started the ball rolling of her looking for an apartment for me, and that's how I came to New Rochelle.
When Deborah and I were looking for a house, I wanted to move to New Rochelle because both my sisters lived here. I was really surprised to find out that Gary and Rachel lived here also.
So when Judy and I moved here, we moved here because my sister was living here, and we were also really shocked to find out that my brother lived here.
You both know how to so seamlessly blend being serious and yet being able to have fun. You take all your responsibilities seriously, the upbringing of your children, respect for your parents, both of you, and you're so serious about that. And yet, you know how to have a great time. You know how to enjoy parties, you know how to travel, you know how to enjoy life. What a quality to be able to live both and be both at the same time.
Many of the people have been stitched up, and they're very fortunate to have been injured on Shabbos in our shul, because Gary gives so much care to everybody, because he's a wonderful physician, a wonderful doctor.
When we were young, I remember sneaking out of our bedrooms all the time and peering down the stairs to see either my mom in a shul committee meeting or my father holding a bleeding child on his way to the hospital.
My own children, particularly one child, we won't name who, has met with Dr. Berger on 2 occasions, and I have learned from others that perhaps after I think the most important cell phone number to have is Gary Berger's cell phone number.
Many times we're sitting at the Shabbos table and there's a knock on the door, and my dad gets on his scrubs and fixes the people.
He usually doesn't put on his scrubs first, he goes.
Puts the scrubs right on.
And then he goes to the hospital, leaves us all alone.
Does the stitches.
Our mother cared for us when we grew up.
Our father wasn't around much.
The entire time I was growing up, my mother was always working on projects for Mizrahi, which became Amit, and in fact worked with Rabbi Axelrod's mother for nearly 40 years in their Queens chapter.
I've learned from the Bergers in terms of the mitzvah of kibbud av v'em, watching each of them care for their parents, those who live here in New Rochelle, those who visit New Rochelle quite often, is something that as a child myself, I am learning what I should be doing in terms of my own parents.
When Rachel and I met at YU, we were both involved in student government, we were both in the student theater, so the idea of doing projects, of being involved, of putting together shows, it's been part of who we are from the earliest parts of our relationship.
So after we were settled in, Diane Lent invited me to pack Mishloach Manot at Judy Scher's house. She said that would be a great way to get involved and meet the women in the neighborhood, and it was. It was a lot of fun, and we did that for many years, and that began my involvement with the Women's League. And eventually we even packed Mishloach Manot in this house, which was a lot of fun. Do you remember that?
No, I really don't. What am I even doing here?
She was talking to me and she said she had some good news and some bad news. I don't remember what the good news was, but the bad news was she wanted me to be co-president of Women's League with her. Women's League our year donated the Torah that was slightly smaller than a regular sized Torah so that it would fit more easily into the Aron for the Shiva houses. We made a whole big Hachnasat Torah on the Shavuos of that year, and it was really beautiful on Shavuos.
Gary also is a Kohen, and he takes his mission as a Kohen very, very seriously.
The duchening here in New Rochelle, when I got here 22 years ago, it was absolute chaos, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Then Gary came to New Rochelle, and he said we have to do something. So he got the rabbi to sit down with all the Kohanim, and the duchening has been beautiful ever since.
Rachel, I had the pleasure of working for many years with you on the Mikvah of New Rochelle cookbook. The highlight for me was when we truly believed that we were possibly half-sisters because we looked so much alike, but our ancestry proved it.
My mother has chaired essentially every committee that exists within the shul. She really does it all.
She was on the New Mothers Committee. She was on the Simcha Committee. She volunteers for Ruach. She
really wasn't around much when we were young. It was really my dad who raised us.
Even though it takes a lot of time and commitment, working with the shul and on committees and the Women's League really provides a sense of community and camaraderie. I felt like I was able to accomplish a lot and provide important contributions to the community and to my family.
So when David Blumenthal asked me to join the board and then the executive board at a time when the shul was just getting its approval from the city, I feel very proud to have been even a small cog in the giant apparatus that it took to get this beautiful new shul building constructed.
The board of directors decided that Gary should spearhead the effort to write an FAQ that would get the community to approve the plans to build this new building that we currently have.
So we went to a fundraiser at a shul in Teaneck and played a trivia game, and that was really a lot of fun.
So I came back to New Rochelle and I said, we have to do this at our shul. It would be a great fundraiser. And they told me that Nathan Thomas and Alan Janikowski were already working on Panoply. And I said, what's Panoply?
As we got older, my dad really stopped leaving us on Friday night, and that opened up a wonderful opportunity for us to really spend time with our dad.
Until Panoply came around.
Then my dad moved in with Alan Janikowski, and we haven't seen him since.
In 2010, Adina Garbuz told me about this new thing called Panoply, and that was it. And we decided that we needed someone who was really medoctic, somebody who was a surgeon, somebody who could pull apart everything that we did, and Gary was the perfect man for the job.
He comes back home and he's in a craze of questions and questions. Don't come in my office, otherwise you'll know the answers.
It became so hard that my mom actually had to come out of retirement and start her own business in order just to put us through high school.
Gary has been so helpful behind the scenes for the shul dinner every year. He's so detail-oriented. He always gets it right, and he always does it with a smile.
At every shul event requiring audiovisual, Gary he's the one who brought the sound system to the shul. He's available.
Rachel Berger has advanced and enhanced many a Shabbos table in New Rochelle, and we know that when there's a dessert being provided by the kosher dinner lady, it's going to be delicious.
Now we're emotionally conflicted, because now when someone knocks on our door, we open the door and I say, who's hurt? And they say, I just want some lemon squares.
Right.
And
no one's hurt. We just want cake.
And then what it gets even more confusing is when someone else comes in at the same time and they're bleeding, and then the other person's taking their cake.
And my dad gives them stitches and they're like, no, I was here for cake.
Yeah, and we don't want the blood getting on the cake. That's probably the biggest.
It's an issue.
That's the biggest issue we've had.
We're working on it.
Since the bakery really came about.
It's really tough.
The Kosher Dinner Lady began as a blog I was writing about cooking healthy dinner for kids, and that led to writing for the Jewish Link. And after a few years of that, I decided I enjoyed baking cake much more.
Just start back from the beginning.
Okay. So I decided I enjoy baking much more, and that led to me... Maybe we should get that.
Daniel!
Oh my God. Dad?
No, hey, I'm just here to see your mom. Actually, I have some lemon squares that we ordered.
Sure, you want my dad?
No. We ordered some lemon squares. I just came to pick them up.
Mom? You an order for lemon squares?
Oh, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Thank
Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait.
Enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys have a bag for this?
Oh, sure.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
Good Shabbos.
Advil or something?
No, I'm okay. I'm alright.
Seriously though, we're very proud of you. You guys really deserve this honor.
You've had an impact on so many people through all the different aspects of your life. If there's been any silver lining to all of this, having to be in quarantine, it's that we've been able to spend the last several months together.
This honor is a testament to all that you've done for the four of us and for this whole community.
What are you doing in here?
Hey, there's some kind of Zoom?
What are you doing?
No.
They can't see us, right?
No.
Why?
Okay. See ya.
Okay.
We love you.
We wish them a tremendous amount of mazel and bracha and a tremendous amount of nachas from their children for many years to come, and hope that they continue to help our shul in so many ways.
We wish Gary and Rachel and their families only much success and joy in the future, and may God bless the family and bless all of those who are involved.
Wait.
Is our interview being interrupted right now so that my dad could go stitch someone up? Wow, that's telling.
And that's the story.